You're listening to the Practical Wealth Show with Curtis May.
Welcome to another episode of the Practical Wealth Show. And I actually have, should be an interesting show. I actually have a client that we started working with that heard me on, who tell me, I forget, was it on another podcast or at a workshop I did? And his name is James Graham. So we had a lot in common because we both played basketball. So that was one of our common interests, business, real estate. And I just thought we had some really interesting talks that I just thought it would be a podcast where I wanted to get into some of his background, challenges, insights, his working with us. And these are the kind of conversations that we have with clients. So we're all over the place because we're very holistic. And, I really like to understand what makes people tick and how I can be of service to them. So James, I want you to say hi to all my listeners out there. Mr. James Graham.
Hello, how you doing, everybody?
We are doing good. James, so give us a little, like a short background. Where you from, what you up to, and then what I'd like to, kind of walk me through. He's a serial entrepreneur, so I like that.
Let's talk about that's a good way to describe it.
And so this show is really about passion. It's about transformation and just some of the ups and downs, folks. This stuff is not all bright lights and glamour. And so that's what I want you to hear, but it is worth it. Okay. I can guarantee you that, if you're so inclined to be entrepreneur, and you don't have to be a full-time entrepreneur, but guess what? You need to be one in some form of fashion because the tax code benefits you if you are. But James, let's back up before I go off into a rant. And and tell them a little bit about your background and where you from. Where are you from originally?
Well, I hate that question because I'm from everywhere.
Okay.
I'm a military brat.
Oh, okay.
I'm a military brat. My father was in the Navy. He did 20 years. So born in San Diego, raised mostly in the South. So my father's side is from North Carolina. My mother's side is from Jackson, Mississippi. Now living in California. So, but Southern boy at heart.
Okay.
So I guess my career started when I got my bachelor's degree in sports and entertainment management. And I wanted to be involved in sports because I love basketball. I had a dream playing professional basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And once that didn't happen, I tried this in my pro stuff, and realized, went into a tryout. And I said, hey, there's 100 guys in here all paying $150 to try out for a team that already have their selection. And I said, they made about $200,000 today.
Yeah.
So what happened to me, I woke up just a little bit, and I bought a franchise in the American Basketball Association, my pro league. So I did that, and I did that based out of sheer boredom because I graduated. At the
time. How long ago was this? Let's give me a time frame. How long ago was this?
Yeah, I graduated 2010 in St. Louis from Fontbonne University. And then after I graduated that same year, that summer, I paid my fee, and I was playing. I had a team up and going in 6 months.
And you were like 24, 25, 23?
Yeah, 25.
25, okay. Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, that's just as solicitous, folks. See, I want to break out some of these lessons here, right? Because I don't know that I just saw that. You know what I mean? I just, did I make the team or not? I wouldn't have even thinking about owning the team, right? And that's what started this conversation. Now I remember, because that was like, what? How do you do that? And so I was like, wait, all right, 200 people here paying $150 a thing. Let me see if I can own my own team. That's awesome that you could make that leap mentally. That says a whole lot.
Yeah. You realize, you're 6 foot, unless you got crazy speed or extremely athletic and tall. You're not going anywhere else. You know what I mean?
Guards are a dime a dozen. That's right.
Yeah. So, I did that. I had a team going in 6 months. I ran a professional looking basketball team. Had it up and going in 6 months. I came across individuals who love basketball, but did not understand the business of sports. So what I find out is that a lot of teams fold. A lot of teams are up 1 year and then they out within 6 months. So I came across a lot of unprofessional individuals, a few good ones though, and I still stay in contact with them today. So I came across that, and what opened my eyes about that whole arena is that, you know, the players are basically cattle. You know what I mean? You know, they're basically cattle. You know what I mean? So I made a shift to being an agent. You know, I want to become a sports agent. But I'm 25, married with one child at the time, and I'm working full time. You know, becoming a sports agent, I did a background on it. You know, you don't make money right away. And then my other choice of working for a professional team, they charge you, they pay you $15 an hour, if that. So it's not enough money for me to quit my job and work for in the sports team, or it just wasn't working, or be an intern. I'm 25. I can't really work for free.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I decided to be a sports agent. I was like, man, you can't get money right away because you got to court your client, you got to court the parents and all that stuff. It's like, man, what I'm going to do now? So the job I was working with, I was this whole time a government employee. I was able to do all that stuff. I had a successful basketball team. I worked from 6 to 3, launched a team. The job got boring. You know, I was around people, you know, granted they did a good job. They were in the military for 30 years. They were serving the government for 30 years, and they did their time. So the thing is, it's manual labor. And I just realized, you know, if I'm gonna do 30 years for a job or 40 years for a job, work $40 an hour for 40 hours a week, and cash out my 401k. I'm older. I can't even live off that. There's got to be another way.
Right. You'd like just deferring your life to some, you know, thing and hoping it'll all work out. You know, last time I checked, hope is not a good strategy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, the job situation, it got really hostile, and I wanted to do my own thing, so I quit in 2012.
Okay.
I quit. I had a family. I quit. I'm embarrassed to say this, but, you know, you got to move in with your relatives.
Okay.
The family, your wife, and the child. So that didn't go well as a man. And I was like, man, I got to get back on my feet. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have a plan. And I was like, man, what am I going to do? So I took mediocre jobs, and I got back into the government, got rehired. Now, I'm going to skip a couple of years. There was you know, I worked for a collection agency, found out that I love negotiating.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You know, getting to the nitty gritty. What you want, what I want. Let's come to an agreement to get what we both want. You know what I mean? We're all happy. So I love negotiating. So I did that. Got back into the government in 2015. I didn't want to do it. You know, I really didn't want to do it. That's when I found out about the notary business. I became a notary.
Okay.
I got really excited about that because you make $50 here and there, $200 or so as a loan signing agent. I got kind of excited about that because I can control what I earn. I could, you know. Then I got hired in 2015, which was a blessing too. I was able to buy my first house. But from 2015 up until now, 3 years, I drove 4 hours a day
to your work location.
Yeah, I had to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like something you got to do. But this whole time, you know, within those 3 years, I started like 4 companies, and I wanted to earn money and then quit my job. You know what I mean? So I was earning a little bit of money. I was getting a little bit, but not enough to say, hey, I'm going to quit my job. And during that time, I went from a transformation, everything from spiritually to the way I see and view money, how things are really working. You know, I wanted to quit and everything, so everything got really, really jumbled. So one day I just decided, yeah, I'm quitting on this day. I came to an epiphany that the reason why these businesses or what I do is not working because I can't put the time or effort towards it for it to work. And I, you know, mind you, while I was working, I was missing out on opportunities. I was missing out on calls. I was just missing out on everything. So I was like, man, this is, you know. And then I was working 4 hours a day, driving 4 hours a day, sitting down all day, and it wore me out physically. You know what I mean? So
right.
And then, you know, so I was ready to go. I was ready to go. And I set a date, September 3rd, to quit, but that didn't work out. Then went through a couple government shutdowns, and now we're currently going through one. So, in a whole nutshell, the transformation it just happened gradually over the last 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
And you need to have a plan and know what you're going to do, especially if you come up from a situation where you have a kid, have a family, 4 kids by now, by the way. You need to have a plan in place. You need to know what you're going to do, what you're going to say. You need to have these systems developed before you get out there and hit the ground running. So that's what I've been doing lately, since I woke up to the situation. And then when I met you, I heard about different way of financing, but I know exactly what it is. So I know you can put your money in places for it to grow, I didn't know exactly what that was. So once I came across your information, that really kind of completed my plan.
Okay.
Once I generate money, I know where to put it. Because at the end of the day, we all want to work hard and be an entrepreneur, but we don't want to, you want to get yourself to a point where your business is running for itself. If you're there all the time, it's not going to, so I want to be able to have that plan in place to where I generate the money. I know where to put my money.
Right. So kind of I kind of focus him on. And I haven't said this yet because I just kind of not learned it, but it kind of clarified. Like it's really 3 levels, 3 parts to good, financial stewardship. And so the first one is make money.
Right.
Then it's keep money. And then it's grow money. Right. And so most people are not good at all 3. And so what I found, I'm actually good at teaching people the make money part, in terms of like entrepreneurs, how to grow their revenue. My specialty is to keep money. So they all listening to your show, that's the private reserve or the banking strategy, whereas you're going to create your own pool of capital to be able to, basically recycle your money through your personal economy over and over again. And then you have to grow money. So what happens is you've got to save it, right? So, saving means, what can you do with savings? You can save your savings, you can spend your savings, you can invest your savings, or you can lend your savings. But you got to save it first. But before you save it, guys, as you're listening to this, you have to make it money. You got to make money. And so one of the things is I actually don't count people just jump out a perfectly good airplane without a parachute as you're hearing this, right? So don't just quit because, see, here's the thing. Jim Rohn always says wages make you a living, profits make you a fortune, right? Make you a fortune, right? And so what happens is sometimes you got to bite the bullet. And I had a similar situation. I was working, so I'm in out just outside of Philly. On the main line, so I would commute from there to like Hamilton, New Jersey. And,
I know what that is.
Right, to do just like 20 miles from Atlantic City. So it's a good hour commute. And I was doing like call center stuff. So this was like 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. So before I learned this stuff and learned marketing, my business would die in like November, December, if you didn't have momentum going, you could starve to death. So I found this thing you could make, I don't know, some crack $170 a day, just, helping people review their benefits over the phone. But I hated it. And it wasn't hard.
Right.
I hated being in one place all day long. I hated having to clock in and out and all that kind of stuff. It was like a job, I was getting paid as an independent contractor. And and in my mind, every year I had to do that. I was a failure. and I was tired because I was like a 10-hour day. I had to drive an hour to get there. I had to work for like 7, 8 hours. And then I would have to drive an hour home. And it would take up the beta part of my marketing time. No, I don't have time to do anything. I was exhausted also. But after the thing was over, my business was flatlined because I hadn't been doing any work for 2 months. And then I finally, I learned how to work this. I would go in later And then I started learning how to do stuff virtually, on the phone and seeing clients. And all of a sudden I started making money. I was making money every week. And then I started doing my stuff. I figured out how, and then all of a sudden, once you do stuff, my energy jumped up because then making money is addictive, right? And I had one month where I made like 20 grand off of, on the business outside of what I was doing, outside of being at the call center stuff. And I saved like all of it, took the family to Disneyland. And then, because the more you work begets work, and then you just get exciting about that kind of stuff. So most of that is mental in terms of learning how to work effectively and just getting something that drives you to give you the energy to keep moving, And so I had to hit another gear in terms of just not being exhausted. Curtis, you got to work through this kind of stuff because you got to make money because your business will die in the first week of December when they let you go, when all the enrollments end. Now what are you going to do? Now I'm going into January flatline. That's good. So now I know that you have before I say that. So tell me a little bit about the mental transformation, since maybe some of the stuff you've heard that we've talked about, that you've read, and some of the conversations. I know you listen to some of our shows. That's if I have been helpful in any regard. In some of your mental transformation. You're already on the path though, but you don't have to do it on the show. Did I accelerate that in any way?
Yeah. Well, before I came across your information, the mental thing with me was, okay, that's what I would tell people is that, okay, you put in, you apply for jobs. You put in a lot of time applying for jobs, and then it's a numbers thing. Unless you know somebody. The crazy part is the reason why I got this job or been a government employee because I knew somebody 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Well, actually 12 years ago. Yeah, he like we were cool. I played basketball, and he said, "Yo, the thing was beyond that, when you're trying to find a job, your dream job." Before I came about this information. Your dream job was to do this. Okay, you're applying. You put tens of thousands of applications in for one callback or for one interview. Then you got to prove yourself to that person. Why should I hire you? You know what I mean? You get all this. You get all this education. Like I get a bachelor's degree. I got a certificate in project management, and now I'm getting my MBA. And then I started businesses, and I was successful, on a small scale basis. So I almost feel like that. Why should I have to prove it? I really have to go out here and earn some money. Why should I apply for the job? And they're doing the same thing I was doing. So the thing is, if you put time and effort in applying for a job, that same time, effort, and energy you can use working for yourself in an effective manner. So that transformation took place, and I was like, man, I'd rather. And then while you're working, for me anyway, I'm gonna speak for myself. I didn't like what I was doing. I was at a desk, phone all the time, talking to people, managing somebody else's business. The job that I was hired for, I wasn't even doing what I went to school for. And then you find out a lot of people go through that. They go to college, they get a degree, and they're not even working in the field they have a degree in. So I'm like, man, what's the point? You know what I mean? Another person that I've looked at too was Valuetainment. His name is I forgot his name. I'll share it with you when I find out. David, I forgot his name. Bet David. Patrick Bet David, something like that. But he did his whole lesson on going to college may not be for everybody. So just going to college and just being a part of this stats that, one of the people that you get a job and you're working at a job that you don't have a degree in. And then I just woke up and was like, why am I doing this? What's the point? And then you get to, right currently. So the job I'm at, he knows my background. He knows what I do. And then, just go and do other stuff. He says, why are you here if you don't like it?
That's right.
Like, you really I could just up and quit today. You tell me something like that. I have the balls and audacity to do that. I would definitely do something like that. But you gotta be smart with it. So, and then I had a few other statements made to me. Why are you doing this? Why? And then you go, okay, I need insurance. I need this. I need that. Well, you know what? You got to get out there and do it anyway.
But see, you can
you're not
get
guaranteed.
insurance. Right. See, the thing is, people say that it's like, especially with Obamacare now, even though they're defunding it, but you can still get insurance with pre-existing conditions, and if your income's not that high, it'll be subsidized, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? But the main thing that as people are listening to this and you're contemplating that, because people will say to me that, well, I need more time. Time ain't your problem. See, I'm reading Grant Cardone's 10X rule. And one of the things is that people just don't understand the level of activity that you need to have to hit your goals. They've really never said, and with regards to Mark, I remember I had this person, I used to be regional vice president with this, financial services meets network marketing company, won't name it. And, I remember I had a person that just had a challenge passing tests. I was like, okay, I need an assistant. I need a secretary. You come in, you can work with me. And, and so she's thinking, oh, you're full time. Somehow they got this thing, you're on vacation every day. You don't have a job. You don't have to answer anybody. And she came in, and Curtis, I am an absolute maniac. Okay. Because there's a difference. You played college ball, right? And so and you played with pros, right? Mm-hmm. What's the difference between the two?
The pros, they work on their game constantly. They're always working on it.
And then when you're playing with them, it's they're stronger, they're faster, it's just more intense, right? And so that is the level of going from amateur to pro. See, pros make money, but it's just a different level. And so she saw me and she was like, I wasn't on an appointment or on the phone making an appointment, no cold calling, just, going through my database, looking at things to do. I had to make stuff happen. And I was like a whirlwind and super intense. I wasn't like, hey, let's joke around the office. I had my door closed. I was working. And she had, most people don't understand that, of the level of this work that you have to do. And so it's good to try it out, and it's good to shadow somebody so you can see that, okay, I have to step it up. I'm coaching some people on our team right now. So listen, you need to be trying to see what would you need to do to see 8 to 10, 12 people a week and share with them those you're on sales or real estate or network marketing list to it. You're not talking to enough people.
Yeah, with me, the mental difference between me now and in the past when I started my basketball team, the reason why the team was so successful was because I stayed up long hours. I stayed up long. I made sure my marketing was there. I made sure people were in place. I made sure my players had their stuff, their uniforms, and I made it the way I wanted to look.
Right.
And after I dealt with that, I was trying to figure out, okay, what I'm gonna do. I only know basketball. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the mental thing with that was when you're trying to figure out what you're going to do, you have to know what you're good at. Then you have to focus.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the main things. You have to focus. And I reflect back on that time frame because the reason why it was successful, I focused. I was able to get sponsorships. I had a company sponsoring my basketball team that's based out on the West Coast, and I didn't leave my job, or I took advantage of every time slot that I had. If I on my lunch breaks, I didn't eat lunch. I stopped working out.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I did. Right. Yes, that's what you got to do. So you were getting your hustle on, and getting to what I call breakaway speed.
Yeah. Then when you're learning the business, I had a few people who kind of taught me that there's certain things you should and should not do. And another person that I follow really heavy is Dame Dash. He has a boss mentality. It's like it's a different. If someone who's thinking about quitting a job or being their own boss, I know the Grant Cardone and Robert Kiyosaki is one of the main lines I would suggest people read too. Is if you want to change your mentality, you should you should look at Dame Dash, because he gives this mentality that you have to eat what you kill.
Right.
You know, if you're not doing it, or if you're not in control, you're not the boss.
You're
right.
providing entertainment for the people that you're trying to attract to see your brand of basketball that you're putting out there on the floor. But for the players, you're helping them fulfill their dream by showcasing their talent and helping them move to the next level. And so if you go into stuff with what I call a servant leader mentality, so that you can, okay, how does everybody win here? And not be scarce, where it's just all about me, 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 me. And so that's one from our discussion, I thought that was a big thing that I got out of it that would make you successful with it. And I think that, understanding sales, like you have to get advertisers, you got to get sponsors. That's a sales and negotiating situation. So those are the skill sets. You know what I mean? And the other thing is that, so we talk about people say passion. I happen to be passionate about what I do, but really you need to figure out what like when people starting out, I said, I don't care about your passion. You need a cash machine, something that,
exactly.
You need something, you can develop a homeless shelter for, whatever, after you're already a millionaire or whatever, but right now, you need to figure out how to make money. You need to figure out how to make $500 a month, $1,000 a month. So if you're a teacher, you could start a tutoring business. If you're, let's say you've got a power wash equipment, then you need to, power wash cars at a used parking lot or people's businesses. Well, you got to figure out some hustle, some service that you can provide to somebody will write you a check for, right?
Yeah.
So you some revenue in it.
Yeah, you do.
So that's where you got to get your hustle on, I call it.
Yeah, you got to figure out how to monetize yourself.
You got to monetize yourself. And you got to figure out what comes hard, what comes easy to me that other people find hard. And that you kind of build from what I call your unique ability.
Right.
Stolen from Dan Sullivan, from Strategic Coach, just to give him a shout out. But but that's where I heard it from. And I found that. And so what would you say comes easy to you that other people find hard? Because one of the things I'll talk to my client, as I'm interviewing people, is what do you think your strengths are?
Finding the source of money, basically.
Okay.
It's more of a summarization. I kind of call it, because I guess once I figure out a business or figure out a system, I bypass the gatekeeper and I go straight to the person who's in charge. And by look, I have this product, or I have this team, or I have this house. Do you how much would you pay for it, or how much am I offering? I basically know how to negotiate and come to a deal that everybody wins, and finding that person, finding the decision maker. I think that's my skill set really narrows in. Once you figure out the business, you have to figure out where the part of business you're strong or weak in. And if I could say for myself, I'm more strong into selling, basically. If I have to sum it up or narrow that,
right.
I know how to sell.
And see, selling is not a 4-letter word, guys. That's what I wanted to get to. See, you got to sell something. You got to sell your something or somebody else's something. Okay. And until you get your something, that could be affiliate marketing, that could be whatever, because you got if you're either, let's say if you work for a corporation, you're either in sales, unless you're working for the government something, or you're in support of sales. Right. And so if you don't recognize where you are, you need to figure that out in a hurry, because if they have a slowdown, your butt is getting fired, because unless you figure out how to get yourself on the revenue side, which is through personal development, understanding, because see, selling, y'all think selling is trying to talk people into doing stuff. Okay. That is not what professionals do. Selling is helping people make towards a future result that is good for them. So it's leading them towards a future result that is good for them. And then through your educational process, this is what I do, is to helping them justify that decision. You know what I mean? Along the way, through their knowledge that it's going to be a good thing for them. So if you've already made up your mind that, that person working with you is a result that's good for them, then you're doing them a disservice not to share your stuff with them. And that's you got to find something that you like doing. Even if it's like right now, I know as we close, we got you're doing some stuff. We met at the Veteran Success League. You heard me interview Nikki ago, right? And so that is, he likes, real estate among his other stuff. And see, folks, they're not mutually exclusive. So you can do more than one thing, which is what I like about James. He's like, okay, well, I got like 3 or 4 things under contract. I'm doing this and that. I was like, okay, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess my logic to that is you have to understand the business cycle of the business you're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
In real estate, it takes 30 to 90 days for a deal to close.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, what I'm going to do between 30 and 90 days? I can't wait for one deal.
Right.
Unless you have multiple deals.
That's right.
You have to you have to understand, okay, if you plan on quitting in 6 months, you need to start dealing now. Like, you need to start getting out there marketing now, finding that seller now, so you can close within 30 days or less.
Yes.
But if you have a service business like a notary or or something that's right away, that's even more beneficial because you can get something right away. It may not be something you want to do for the long run unless you figure out how to do it and make a lot of money off of it and just what you like. But if it's breaking into cash now and you're still your own boss and you're not hating it, you don't leave money on the table.
Yeah, because you need a cash machine, right? You always need, even if you're doing stuff that are where if you're a wholesaler or you're a flipper and you make these $5,000, $15,000, $50,000 paydays, well, okay. If that took 3 months, what are you doing in the interim?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
you gotta
gotta have something every week, right? Because all of a sudden you got to pay for all the bills you couldn't pay between the flips, so you don't end up. And most of y'all don't take no money out for taxes, okay? And so what you're going to be, I'm trying to teach people and refer them to good people to help them with that kind of stuff. That's not all your money. You got to forget about your uncle, who's half of it shut down right now, but that's another story as we record this. I have to wind this down, but James, this has been great talking to you. So do you have a website out there? So
I do.
Follow along your journey and kind of keep abreast of, some of the things that you're doing.
I have multiple websites, but my main website is what I like doing is helping people start their passion and start their business, and I help them put the structure around that business. So it's jamesandassociates.com. It's James N with the letter N, then you spell out associates. So jamesandassociates.com. Okay.
And so this is James Graham. Yeah. And so one of the things is what I want to do with this show is I kind of wanted to, and I'll do this with people that, we're working with as we're on the journey. Right. And so not a guru, not yet, but he's on the journey. His mindset is right. We're working to get his finances efficient and start his banking system. But, he's got to make it happen. I'm just a guide, right? He's got to be out there. James you're your number one financial advisor and you're the money machine, right? I'm just going to make sure you keep it, but you got to make stuff happen to get it coming in the house, in the door. And so, and I want you to hear the motor that it takes to do that, the determination, his vision, and which is not for him. It's for him, but it's really his family is a big driver. Would you say that's accurate?
Exactly. Yeah. You got to build a legacy,
Got to build a legacy.
If you don't you can't leave behind a job.
That's right.
You can't leave that behind. But you can leave,
I'm going to leave them my LLC. My G8, whatever, you can't leave a job. So you got to, even if it's a part-time business, because you're, folks, we're all examples. You're either a good one or you're a bad one. And so are you setting an example of hard work, of having a dream, of getting up and working towards making things happen? That speaks volumes because, kids don't listen to what you say as much as they watch what you do. So, folks, I just want to hear you from a regular guy that's on his way up. And because most of you listening to this are there. And we just want to share with you that you can do it. So, James, give me any closing, feelings you have or thoughts you want to give, what you...
All right. Well, I guess the best thing I could say is if you have a vision and that vision keeps popping up in your head every night, every day, you need to act on it. Because if you don't, you're going to regret it one day if you don't do it.
All right.
That's what I can say about that.
All right, my man. So, hey guys. So, listen. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Practical Wealth Show. Make sure that you download our free ebook, Financial Planning Has Failed, and go to our website. You can watch the video, The Practical Wealth Money for Life Process. And if you would like to have a discussion about looking at your personal economy going into 2019. Check out, see if we do. We'll have a brief meeting and see if we're a good fit to be able to be of service to you. And let's make 2019 your best year ever.
Thanks for listening to Practical Wealth. To access the show notes and resources, go to practicalwealthshow.com. To get your questions on the show, go to practicalwealthshow.com. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Before you make any investment decisions, consult a professional. This show is copyrighted by Practical Wealth. Written permission must be granted before syndication or rebroadcasting.